Hi everybody, today we're gonna play Cophaga Park. We're gonna achieve a gold star hard level, so stay tuned on how to do that. It is quite a challenging time scenario. It took me 3 times to get the gold star in this scenario, so I'll take you through my journey on getting there. First I remove all the water, and then I remove all the barriers that are already there. It gives you quite some money, as well as the paths I'm not gonna use. I sped up the time of my gameplay twice, so that it doesn't take too long for you guys to concentrate and focus on what I'm actually doing here. Alright, I'm also gonna get rid of all these fancy huts. They make $1,500 each, so that's quite a nice amount of money to get you started here. Money is an issue in this time scenario, so you can use every opportunity you can get. Alright, first I'm gonna connect some paths, and here I'm gonna create a staff zone. It's sort of central, and I'll just make sure that I'll put all my essential buildings here, and during the game I'll place some more staff buildings around the zoo. You'll see that in a second. Okay. I placed 2 research centers there. And first I start out with hiring 1 staff member for each group. Except for the educators. I don't have educators yet, I don't have vendors yet. But all the rest I just hired 1. First I'm gonna get 2 giraffes, since I have enough conservation points right now. I'll need them later on, and I really want to have them. It's good for your customer happiness. Then make sure you get some tigers and some camels. They're easy to keep, and they don't really require much attention. Then we're gonna put flamingos and tapirs in the same habitat, just because they both have similar requirements. They like some water, they like some privacy. So that's the enclosure I'm gonna build right here. It's where I removed the water before. I'll just put the water back in here. Place the gate close to the path that's going up to the staff buildings, just to keep the walking routes short as possible. Alright, get some water back in. That's what flamingos and tapirs both like. And then get the animals in and start placing donation bins. Super important. Place just as many as you like, because the more you place in there, the more money you're gonna get. Also, don't forget to place these animal talks, because they're one of the objectives too. Let's I also pay lots of attention to the training of my staff. It's cheaper than hiring more staff, so I'll just start out with 1, like I said before, and then train them as much as possible until I get messages that my animal welfare is having issues, which means that my staff cannot keep up with the work that needs to be done. And then I'll hire some more, but for now 1 of each will do. Okay. Make sure you get some shelters in there. Water and food trays. And don't forget the water filter, otherwise your animals will get sick very fast. Okay, so now we're gonna build a habitat for the camels. Super easy, guests like them a lot. And they don't require much. They don't even require a shelter. They don't require any plants in their habitat, so they're super easy animals to keep. I'm just gonna add another transformer here, because I don't really have all the power from the one I placed before. Get the camels in there and make sure they're gonna have access to water and food. Otherwise they're gonna die pretty fast, and that's not really helping with you achieving a high level for your zoo in general. Because you need 4 out of 5 stars, and that's quite a challenge, but not undoable. Don't forget donation bins, don't forget the information boards, the speakers, and I always try to get the range as large as possible. I got rid of this animal talk because I realized that it is easier to place the animal talks in one spot as much as possible, so that the educator doesn't need to walk around all the time, and I don't have to hire 2 educators, just 1 will do. So now, some crocodiles in here. Make sure I leave some space for staff buildings, because this is quite far out from the rest of the staff buildings. Okay, I'm gonna add some more of this path, make a staff path to the back here, so I can actually place my keeper's hut, another transformer, and another staff building eventually. In the meantime, don't forget to do research on your animals, because it's super important to get your zoo score up. Because the higher the education, the more people will know and the more they'll pay you. Because when your research level is up, it means that there's more information available on the education boards. And smart people make you money. Keep that in mind. Alright. Crocs are super easy too. They don't require much at all. Hardly need any space, and they'll just live a happy life without paying much attention to them. Okay, so make sure you just adjust the opening hours till it's actually just light all the time, because working in the dark is quite a challenge, and it's already quite a challenge, so I don't prefer to work during the night as well. Makes life a lot easier. You should make it yourself as easy as possible in this scenario. Okie dokie. Get another mechanic in there, because apparently the one I had before could not keep up with the work already. Same with the vets. It's also because these crocodiles are pretty far out from the rest of the animals. Might not be the best move, but I think it's a nice spot for them, so if it works, it works. And apparently it did, because I did get the gold star. This is gonna be a tiger enclosure. Tigers are also super important for your zoo. Super easy animals, just make sure they don't climb out of their habitat, and people love them. So don't forget your donation bins, your education board speakers, and a animal talk point. Because this one is really next to the flamingos and the tapirs. So that means that your educator doesn't have to walk all the way from the one side of the zoo to the other side. And it's a good choice to let the vets do research on the tigers, because they unlock quite some enrichment items for predators. And make sure those speakers don't overlap each other, and if they do, just decrease the range until it's fine again. Make sure that the animals are happy as possible, adjust the terrain, place shelters, place enrichment, and make sure they have the right plants in there. I'll just pick some large trees because, well, it's a timed scenario, it doesn't have to look pretty, as long as it's functional, it's good. So, shelter was not really 100% here, so I just added another one. Again, it's not pretty, but it works. For now, I'm happy with that. Okay, this one has low welfare, so I can change this to one-way glass, which I already unlocked by doing research to the barriers. Excuse me. So the flamingo needs some more enrichment here, It's available now in the forage pool. Just put them in the water and they'll be good. Just get as much enrichment items in there as possible, because at some point your animals will get bored of the items that are already there. So if there's many enrichment items in there, it will take forever before they're gonna be so bored of all the items that their enrichment level is not high enough anymore. So the next animal I'm gonna get in here is the Nile monitor. It's a super easy animal too. Not expensive, you can get it for some points, some conservation points, not much though. And I'll just lower the wall because they don't climb. They just need some water, some soil, some food and water, and they'll be happy. Super easy. Alright, looks like a pretty nice space for the water, I think. So get them in there. Make sure that there's donation bins all over the place, as well as these education boards and speaker, and again an animal talk. You need 3 in the year, and right here I have 4, so that should be enough to cover that one objective, and I'm sure it will be enough. We'll find out soon enough. Alright, I prefer to place more food trays in a habitat than one, because they tend to prevent the animals from getting hungry if you have more. So this building has a negative influence on the guests, and I don't want that. I have these hard objectives to keep an eye on, and I apparently forgot to make sure that there's no guests gonna enter up there, so I'll just get wine tile changed into staff path and they won't be able to enter anymore, the guests. Okie dokie. Keep up with the research. Make sure you just switch through the animal species every now and then to make sure that every animal got some enrichment items, and in the meantime keep an eye on the animals that are available, because you need 10 habitat species in here. Make sure you get some elephants, some hippos, giraffes, because those are animals that are super interesting for your guests and they'd love to come to your zoo to take a look at them. Alright, we need to have some drink shops here because, well, people get thirsty after a while, just like yourself, so they want to have a drink. Place these green recycle bins because they get you extra conservation points, which you need to get more animals, more special animals in your zoo. So just place all these bins all over your zoo and you'll be good. You should be, put it that way. Alright. Now, some benches too, to get the guest happiness up. They need to rest every now and then. Can't keep walking forever, so just spread them over your park and well, the guests will find them to take a rest. Okay, they are hungry, which means I need to hire another keeper because the one I have cannot keep up with the work. There's more hungry animals, so yeah, it was pretty necessary to get another. Okay, let's just get some more staff space in here, some more keeper huts, and another staff room, and another transformer. I'm gonna build a large habitat in a minute here, so I'm gonna need it anyway. But it just got my attention that the keeper for the camels went all the way to the crocodiles, and that's just too far out. I'm not gonna do that. It's not going to be efficient and will just result in hungry animals, and I don't want that. I need them to be super happy, and their welfare level needs to be as high as possible. Don't forget food shop and toilets, and get an entrance price on the toilets. Like 30 cents will be just enough to cover the costs. You don't want to lose any money on the toilets, alright? Okay, so now I'm gonna build a large habitat in here. It's gonna be a super big one for elephants, giraffes, hippos, and black wildebeests as well. Just to have a place that I can put all those large grazers in, so that I don't have to build tons of habitats. And this is a nice wide open space where I can put them. And there I have to create some water, because elephants and especially hippos need lots and lots of water to swim around in. And the giraffes and the wildebeests will also just drink from this pond, so I need to hire the fence a little more so that I can add some more water in there, otherwise it's not going to be enough. Okie dokie, let's get those animals in there, and then in the meantime I'm gonna fill their habitat up with enrichment items. Super big shelter, this one at the 24 one. Make sure they can walk from one side to the other, otherwise they're gonna start complaining about space issues, which is not really true, but you know, when they cannot reach the other side. Make sure you put all those food items in the front, close to the gate, so that the keeper doesn't have to walk all the way through these large habitat to reach the items. Every now and then keep an eye on the messages you get, and they will tell whether your animals are hungry or not, which means that the keepers you have cannot keep up with their jobs. Don't forget to send them to training every now and then, because that will just make them way more efficient. I love to build a large bridge over this large habitat so that the guests have plenty of space to just take a look at these animals. And apparently they love to watch these animals from here too. So I might as well just get a path in here. Don't know if they're gonna use it, but you know, never hurts to have a little extra space for my guests to go. Okay, this bin was in the way. Make sure you don't forget to place bins on the new paths as well. Otherwise you're gonna have some garbage issues, and it's not gonna be super efficient if you're gonna have garbage issues, right? Because it means your guests are not gonna be happy. You wouldn't be happy either. When you would walk around in a zoo, which you pay tons of money to get in there actually, and then you end up in a super dirty zoo with trash all over the floor, it's not gonna help, right? Again, education boards with speakers. Now we just have 2 animals in there, but that's okay. Later on we'll just change the boards and the speakers to another species. It's fair enough. Okie dokie. Let's get it all set up here. Then I'll try to connect these staff buildings to the one I have below, just to make sure, or just to create an opportunity for the staff to walk around more efficiently, instead of just needing to use the paths for the guests. And here I'm having some issues with paths. It's always the same thing with paths, you know the drill, right? Eventually it will work out, but it's always quite a pain to get it organized. Okay, the water filter from the crocodiles covers the water filter in this habitat as well. That's perfect. Adjust the speakers a little because they're overlapping. The guests don't like that. It's like the same thing when 2 people are talking to you, one on your left side, one on your right side, just screaming in your ears. It's not going to be funny. It's the same with the speakers. You just have to make sure that they don't overlap, so the guests just hear one speaker at a time. Alright, so now we're going to place some conservation boards in there so that guests will actually learn something about conservation too, which gets the education of your zoo up, as well as your guest happiness again, and your overall zoo score, which is super important for this scenario too, because it's one of the requirements, one of the objectives. Make sure you just have one for every topic on the conservation boards, which is 10. So just make sure you have at least 10. More is always better. And in the meantime, just raise your entrance price every now and then. Also, when there's no message that the entrance price is too low, just raise it every now and then. When the guests will think that the price is too high, they'll tell you. And when they don't, well, it's extra money, and you need the extra money to get your overall income of $30,000 a year, which is quite a lot and quite the biggest challenge for this zoo. Alright, the orangutan is a awesome animal because it can just be by himself and people love it. So you just make sure that one mechanic is doing some research to climbing facilities. And now it's super dark, but apparently it's not because it's nighttime, but because it's raining like crazy. That's okay, I can work with this. Alright, just create a nice habitat in here with a non-climbable fence. Make sure you get some windows in there so that the guests can see the monkey. And now it's a challenge again with the path, to make sure that the path is actually able to get there. It's always quite a pain, but it will work out eventually. Right there, perfect. Okay. Something like that. It doesn't look pretty, but as long as the guests can see the monkey in there, then I'm happy. They'll be happy and I'll be happy too. There is some injury. Okay, that's already been taken care of. Get the orangutan in there and then place donation bins, education board, speaker, and again the habitat stuff for this specific animal. There's some fighting going on with the tiger, so I'm just gonna get rid of one of them. I release it into the wild. That's gonna give me some very necessary conservation points, which I need to get some more interesting animals into my zoo. Because of the fact that the vets are doing research all the time, they forget to check up on the habitats when there's no sick animals, so you just need to get them in there by hand every now and then. Planet Zoo will tell you when you have to, so just keep an eye on that and you'll be good. Alright, in the meantime the mechanic has finished the research, so I have climbing facilities for my orangutan. Make sure you get super much enrichment items in there. It's a monkey, they get bored quickly, so you just have to pay attention to that. Okie dokie, let's get this right. I need a shelter, just pick the smallest one and you can just place 1 or 2 in there. 1 is enough apparently. Perfect. Okay. Adjust the terrain a little and get 1 huge tree in there. That should be enough. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so the range enrichment is as high as possible too. So that one should be good. Get the vets to check up on the crocodiles, because they don't do it by themselves. See if there's already a hippo available. No, there's not. And make sure you keep up with the vandalized items. You want your zoo to look as pretty as possible. And that means repairing all those vandalized items every now and then too. Get another drink shop in there. 1 is not just not enough. You have to have 2,000 guests and 1 drink shop is just not gonna cover it. Another food shop to go with it. When there's food, there's gotta be drinks too. The other way around, when there's drinks, there's gotta be food too. You know what I mean. The marketing, just get it just 2 of the 5,000 ones and you'll be okay. I had some dead animals, that's okay, they just do that when they grow old. Place these boards so that the people shut up a little around my precious wildebeests, which are pretty shy. Now I have a dead tiger and I need to check on that because I don't know if there's anyone left. Nope. So I'll have to get new tigers. Alright, just had enough points to get a new couple. Awesome. And don't forget to select the right animal species on their education boards again, because when all your people died in one habitat, they just turn off and they don't get back on again when there's new animals in the habitat. So you have to do that manually. Keep an eye on that and you'll be fine. Okie dokie, there's some objectives being achieved every now and then, so that's good. Right now I'm just gonna check on all the habitat enrichments for all the species, because in the meantime I got lots and lots of new enrichment items. Perfect. I already hit the yearly profit of $30,000. That's just awesome. So I'll just need to keep that up and then I'll be good. I actually never achieved that one before this fast. So that's perfect. Don't have to worry about that anymore, and the rest should be fine. Okay. Enrichment items. As you can see, there's some toy enrichments which have a red sad face, and that's just because the animals get bored of it every now and then after some time. Raise the entrance price again. Just try. See if they're gonna complain about it. If they don't, that's great. If they do, well, something to worry about later. Get rid of some Nile monitors because there's too many of them. Just get rid of the oldest one. I don't care about inbreeding and the scenarios. And just pay attention to all the animals and get their enrichment items up as much as they need. So these animals are all good. I'll go check on the Nile monitors first because I didn't do them yet. They don't have any food enrichment yet. So here they go. Good enough. Some toy enrichments and they'll be super happy, as you can see. Okay, so then let's see if we have a hippo. We do, and we can afford her. Get them into their habitat. You don't need them for your objectives, but it never hurts to get an extra one. I have hit all the objectives already. I just need to do 3 animal talks, which apparently didn't occur. So just move them forward in the beginning of the year so that you'll have them covered. And there we go. That was actually sooner than I expected. Thank you for watching.